When 16-year-old Rennell Harper was viciously attacked and left for dead in Winnipeg last November, it made national headlines. The young woman could have been a statistic, another name on the growing list of missing and murdered Indigenous women in Canada. But amazingly, she survived. Tonight, she sits down with our Lorraine McNabb as we explore the troubling trend of violence against Aboriginal women, and we hear from the families of those who weren't as fortunate.
Jennifer Catchaway, Murray Banks.
We are left with just their names.
Hillary Wilson, Tanya Marsden, Barbara Joseph.
Over 1,000 of them from across this country.
Jane Doe 19, Jane Doe 52, Jane Doe 75.
Names of women who are missing, women who have been murdered. Rennell Harper was almost added to that list. One cold night last November, Rennell was walking by this river in Winnipeg when the 16-year-old was brutally attacked and thrown in the frigid water. She was left for dead.
Do you remember anything leading up to that?
No.
The only thing she does remember is waking up in hospital.
Were you in pain?
Yeah.
Rennell clung to life. Her cousin Tyson Grisdale was by her side.
It was shocking to see her in that condition she was that night.
A remarkable speech in Winnipeg today, delivered by someone who never expected to become a role model and hero.
Brutally sexually assaulted and left for dead last
As Rennell recovered in private, the crime went from being a local tragedy to the symbol of a national struggle.
And the day she got up, thrown back in the river system, and she got back up again and got beaten. And she said, no more to these deaths.
Just 4 weeks after her attack, Rennell spoke to the Assembly of First Nations, calling for an inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women.
My name is Rennell Harper.
And did you want to get up there and speak to everyone?
No.
How come?
I was scared.
That day, she became a young woman carrying the weight of a movement.
As a survivor, I respectfully challenge you all to call for a national inquiry into a missing and murdered Indigenous woman.
Finding her voice in a personal plea she still reads from.
I am able to call out for an inquiry, but there are far too many young women who lost their lives, who cannot do the same.
It wasn't until last year that the scope of the issue was revealed. Previously thought to be just a few hundred women, the RCMP announced almost 1,200 Aboriginal women and girls missing or murdered across Canada since 1980.
The inquiry would be a chance for women and their families to heal from the past.
Tina Fontaine.
That's the thing I don't understand. What does an inquiry do? Is that it just all talk again and people writing things on paper. Paper is easily thrown away.
Paper that can also deliver hurtful messages.
This is the letter I received last night in the mail. And it reads, Selma, you guys are nothing but a bunch of drunken Indians. Tina was following in her father's footsteps, drinking beer, passing out in back alleys. She was not a nice person.
The Tina that anonymous letter is referring to is 15-year-old Tina Fontaine.
They don't know Tina. Let them talk all they want, as long as we know the truth.
Tina is one of more than 1,000 names on the murdered list. Her great-aunt, Thelma Favel, was raising the young girl.
I just miss her so much. She's a small girl, but she left a big hole in my heart. And no one's ever gonna fill it but her.
Thelma says Tina went missing after going to Winnipeg to spend time with her birth mother.
I gave Tina $60 and a long-distance calling card in case she wanted to come home sooner than the week.
But a week turned into a month. Tina fell through the cracks, vulnerable and left to fend for herself on the streets of Winnipeg. Thelma says she reported Tina missing, but no one helped. Police even stopped Tina one night after she was reported missing. They did nothing. A week later, Tina's body was pulled from the Red River.
I just freaked. I felt as though somebody ripped my heart out of my chest and just stomping and stomping on it.
Tina is now buried far away from Winnipeg, but Thelma still waits for a call she knows will never come.
I feel, because of that phone card, I feel if I go out, I'm gonna miss that call.
Thelma will never forget Tina, but she's afraid the rest of Canada will.
I hope her death wasn't in vain, it wasn't for nothing. I hope people open their eyes.
Why are Indigenous women and girls treated and viewed differently?
National Chief Perry Bellegarde was elected last December after campaigning on a platform for an inquiry, though he admits it's just a beginning.
This is not acceptable. This is not right in Canada. This is happening to Indigenous women and girls, and we've got to find the strategies and means to stop it. That's what it's all about.
Indigenous women make up 16% of female murder victims in this country, and almost 12% of all missing women. Many face poverty, addiction, and abuse.
And it's time for us to acknowledge this crisis and for us to act. So
Parliament has been debating an inquiry, but up until now, the federal government has said the issue is only a criminal one.
I express my condolences to the family of this young woman. But with respect to action, our government has taken action. We have invested in Economic Action Plan 2014.
Canada is a beautiful, rich country to live. Great quality of life, you know, and it's rated 6th in terms of the United Nations Human Development Index up here. You apply those same indices to Indigenous peoples, we're 63rd down here. There's a huge socioeconomic gap that exists.
Claudette Osborne.
For all the women on the murdered list, there are almost 200 more still missing. Women like Bernadette Smith's sister, Claudette Osborne, last seen in 2008.
You know, the headlines that came out in the news and the media were, you know, Aboriginal, sex trade, you know, drug-addicted woman missing. It was really hard to change that perception.
'Cause 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 ' She says police did not investigate for 10 days. Bernadette doesn't want an inquiry. She wants action.
I get very angry and very pissed off. How many more people have to be killed or murdered or go missing before, people wake up?
That's why Bernadette has started looking for answers herself. The search taking her to the banks of the Red River, where Tina Fontaine was found.
It's sad that, people think our women are disposable, that no one's going to miss them.
Bernadette and a team of volunteers spend the warmer months dragging the river, looking for other bodies. So far, 4 have been pulled out.
Well, 1,200 missing and murdered women. That in itself, if you equated that to non-Indigenous women, that'd be 20,000, white women. And I think the army would be called out or something would be done.
Her sister remains on the missing list.
That's something we'll continue to hang on to, but, we're realists also, right? So.
Last week, it finally looked like something was going to be done. Federal ministers, premiers, chiefs, and families came together for the first time to participate in a national roundtable talking about missing and murdered women.
Families are looking for action today to make sure they're supported in their time of need.
It's not about talk, let's get something done.
We are in alignment with our plan for action. We want action taken now.
Plans were proposed, progress will be measured, and another meeting scheduled. But no inquiry, no new money that would have helped Bernadette's sister.
No, definitely not. I don't think she would have been happy.
Hillary Wilson, Maggie Mink, Sunshine Wood.
Lists have a way of making people more than just names. Each name has a voice. They can speak together or speak as one. It just depends if anyone is listening. So while Rinelle has become the face of a cause, she still remains Rinelle.
What's helped you get through all this?
She's nervous, but she still smiles. But she's strong.
The river, meanwhile, remains an icy memorial.
Loretta Saunders, Judy Quill, Elaine Alou, Alicia Solomon.